Igor, the floor is yours. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Igor Yurgens. I'm from GIMO University of Moscow, of the Center of the Sustainable Development. I have the slides, but first of all, they repeat a little bit the slides of predecessors, so I won't use it. Second of all, I'm taken by your idea of talking about global governance here, rather than the nitty-gritty of carbon emissions and stuff like that. We have an international global instrument of COPs, right? So COP29 at the moment was not so good at all for the developing world, for the global south. You heard of the position of the Indian delegates and the delegates of some other countries, that was a failure, both in terms of financing of the process, but also of the psychology and philosophy of the process. It's a big question mark whether the present form of shareholding capitalism can deal with all these 17 issues or objectives of the sustainable development, including social justice, corporate governance, etc. But when we go back to the energy, you know that there is always two warring factions of mitigation and adaptation. From this point of view, COP29, which adopted this Baku Declaration on Adaptation, won over those who say that cut on carbons, no matter what. Okay, so adaptation is a different thing. Of course, there was a big stress on hydraulic and water resources in this declaration. It was important for the country like Baku, who has a big coastal line and everything. But adaptation as a theory of using the earth to adapt and to the emissions is a theory which is more to the liking of some of the regional gatherings. And second thought, which I would like to stress, we saw that the developing and the developed world is very much divided on that. And of course, what TotalEnergies is saying, or you are saying, is very good, technologically advanced, and when we drop in hydrogen and all of those new excellent developments, but then how do you finance that in the developing world, where the money comes? And we all know that this 100 billion, which was reached with great difficulty, 100 billion of adaptation fund for the developing world, now grew up to 300, and then the calculation of the developed world. So no, wait a minute, 1.3 trillion we need, and this is peanuts. Okay, so all of this, in terms of global governance, we're discussing here at WPC. All of this becomes more and more difficult and less and less reachable. So our take from COP29, when we were under the Damascus sword Damocles sword of Trump's decision to get out again from the Paris Agreement, is that let's do it on the regional basis. So much so that, for example, Russia is excluded from the general cooperation, not only on gas, but also on technology transfers and all of that stuff. What we need for sustainable development and decarbonization in Russia sometimes is said that it's dual usage and it's out of bounds for Russians. So from this point of view, we're talking about BRICS SHOS developments, and we had a couple of big meetings here, and I agree with you that China and India will play its own game. Russia would be ready to go along with the world carbon market, for example, with methodology which we understand. How much we emit, how much we calculate, how much we trade, etc., etc. But India and China at the moment are not ready to, and plus you said, American market for 4 years to come is not forthcoming at all. So from this point of view, on the regional basis, we will try to do something. And in terms of a success, yeah.
Just to, when you say regional, what do you mean by regional? You mean BRICS, what we just heard?
We start with BRICS, but now we play with the idea of SHOS, which is a little bit larger than BRICS. BRICS is an organization which they don't even have a secretariat. It's a club which once a year, twice a year say something, but SHOS has a secretariat, has a staff, has people to do things. So from this point of view, what we write in our center, we write for SHOS rather than for BRICS. So, and from this point of view, we're working on the methodology of the carbon market, then on the carbon stock exchange, and all of this. In Russian concrete context, and I will end here, I would say that the most successful thing which we managed is the Sakhalin, so-called Sakhalin experiment. It's a big island where the net zero will be reached in 2025 through adaptation, huge forestation on one hand, and the calculus of each emitter and the quota, and then you can trade on the stock exchange. If you emit more, then you buy the carbon units, or vice versa. So from this point of view, we start from next year the multiplication of this Sakhalin thing. And of course, we work hard with Chinese because the Western idea of overcapacity of China is good for us. We're not against overcapacity of China because we would love to buy all of those solar and turbines and etc. We're not afraid of that. Whereas, of course, Western Europe and United States say that China overproduces all of this and dumps up the market and the workforce. So from this point of view, I would say that from now till, I don't know, COP31 or something like this, we have to work out how the regions will work on the net zero and then come together again. Because COP29 in Baku showed that BRICS shows is one thing. European Union by far ahead of us, and that's good enough for us as neighbors. United States getting out of Paris agreements. Well, we'll hear from our colleague from Argentina what's going on in this part of the world. But there is no global governance. And without global governance, as colleagues said, no go. Okay, we will be good in the north. They will be very bad in the south. So where's the net zero? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Igor. Appreciate it.